Unfortunately, I'm gonna be the hater on this card. I honestly, I do hate cards like these.
80% of the people were playing the same freaking deck.
You ready to start?
Yeah.
Welcome to WWB Worldwide Broadcast. Today we have a special segment. We call it Tournament Talks, and with that, I have a special guest too, Aleckermit, the tournament winner for the HobbyQuest Ward Tournament in California. Hello, Alec. Sorry.
Hello, good to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, I did not go to this tournament. It was in California, but I thought we could maybe talk to you and run through a little bit of your experience in the tournament. Maybe just like first reactions, I think would be like a good start. Like, how did it feel to like be in your first like official in-person tournament in California?
Yeah, it was cool. I really have so little experience playing in person. It's almost all on Untap, and I play against my boss every couple weeks or so, and that's very casual, and he usually uses my cards, and we just kind of play with whatever we think is fun. So to play in person, I actually was like practicing at night, nights leading up to the tournament, like, okay, remember, this is how you shuffle, here's how you do it.
Yeah.
It's actually a very, very new experience. But I clicked in pretty well on the day, so.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I think you're right. It's just like actually playing with like the real cards. If you haven't been playing with them for very much, like I could definitely see where it's just like, oh yeah, like I have to like shuffle my deck and I have to, like remember all these things and like actually roll dice. I'm sure that was probably something for you too. It's like, all right, how many dice do I need to roll and all those things. It's pretty funny.
And like I'm not a super fast counter, so like, you feel that pressure of like 3, 5, to, your
Yeah.
opponent sitting across from you. It's mostly just a mental thing. It's, if you're putting pressure on yourself. But, in a tournament where you're playing 6 matches, like how many times are you rolling the dice? Like so hundreds of times.
No,
And
exactly.
point where, you've got to like, it takes a lot of mental effort to count for that long for like 6 hours.
Right. No, I'm very curious too. So was it like a Swiss? Like you guys played every person individually at the tournament?
Yeah, it was explained to me like a Swiss, and they use something called Melee as like a bracket organizer online.
Okay.
So everyone got to play 3 times, and there were 12 contestants total. And yeah, so my first match was against a guy named Ethan. He was pretty new. I kind of had to give him a few cues on rulings and stuff. His deck was fairly casual. Second match I played was against Glinda, and she did have kind of a structure to her deck. She ran kind of a heroism dragon combo.
Okay.
With some pretty good cards in there.
Real quick. Would you say? Sorry, Alec. Would you say you were like kind of the most like prepared with like the rules and everything at the tournament? I know that a lot of people there probably weren't as familiar with it, or how did you feel about that?
I guess so. Yeah. Like Trapped Under Ice was there. He is probably about as familiar as I was.
Yeah, and he is someone else who's in the Ward Discord as well. He's quite a big talker in there too. So yeah, definitely another person who probably knew a little bit more what was going on.
Yep. So like my third match was against Jared, who's Trapped Under Ice, and I was really afraid. I was pretty confident going to the tournament. I didn't think there'd be a whole lot of competition. I knew my deck was like fully built out. I need a win, if you want to use that term. Like I made sure I had the best cards I could possibly have for what my deck wanted to do. And then when Trapped got there, and then I saw he was a 150,
Oh yeah.
Matt owner. So I knew he had the cards.
Right.
And then I heard the words "Perfect Shark" from across the room when he was playing during the first match, and I was just like, I've never beaten a Perfect Shark deck, and my deck is not like high firepower. It's a sustain. I ran an Eternal Dragon deck, by the way. And I've run it a few times against in like the last 2 tournaments and then this one, but I've been kind of like slowly making it better.
It's also posted in the Discord. If people again want to get in the Discord and join the community, you definitely can see Alex's deck list in there that he won the tournament with. I think it is a pretty good Eternal Dragon deck list that you got there.
Yeah. If I if I keep you from doing what you're want to do, and you don't have the firepower to deal with it, you can't take it down. Pretty much, it's got enough to just outlast you and keep everything out of the graveyard. But it's not unbeatable. It's lost to you, I believe. Yeah, it's lost to Tyler. It's lost to Billy. So
Yeah.
I got about 3/4 the way through the last 2 tournament brackets with something very similar. So
What,
it's
what
not overpowered.
what would you say was the card? You're talking against this opponent, trapped under Rice. What was the card in your deck that you felt like maybe like helped you the most in that matchup, if you could recall?
So that match was really interesting, and that was my luckiest part of the tournament by far.
Ooh.
So on turn 2, I had Eternal Dragon out. On like turn 3, by turn 4, I had already like gotten Ghost Form out. I had already blocked him, big major attack. Like he couldn't hit me. He was putting out his small creatures like Assassin, Artist, maybe a Raccoon Knight. And so I had my Eternal Dragon out. I killed like his first 2 creatures by negating the damage that was coming at me. And then I like healed with Epic Loot on like turn 4 or something. And then I just went
Ooh.
full aggro because I was seeing like he can't get started. So I just kept beefing up Eternal Dragon and just smacking creature after creature. And I was just drawing the right cards. And he never could get off the ground. And I felt really bad because if I was on his side of the table, I probably would have been fuming a little
And
bit because like his
right.
deck did not get a chance to play. And I
So that was
basically
it was
just got.
his deck was a perfect shark deck. So was he ever
It was
able?
actually Undead King.
Oh, Undead
Uh,
King. Okay, so he
Mostly
wasn't the.
Undead King, but he ran a perfect shark as
Gotcha.
his retrieved creature. Um, and he did get Undead King out
Ooh.
near
Okay.
the end of the match. And he got something out. I forget the creature he revived from the cemetery, but my deck was running really well. I was negating. I might have fully healed by putting another Eternal down, and so I basically raced Undead King to death. And after Undead King was done, there was nothing else he could play without going over in the cemetery.
No, that sounds like a pretty crazy match you had there with an Undead King. I mean, I've played a couple Undead King decks, and yeah, it's like if they get the Undead King out and like if they get some nice rolls to get going, like it gets scary very fast because it's just like, all right, here's a couple creatures that are 8 dice rolls. Usually, like you said, they'll have like Perfect Shark or like the old one or something, the Creator or whatever they can get their hands on. But yeah, it gets pretty crazy pretty fast. So the fact that you're able to like find a way to like, kind of like match that deck, I think is pretty crazy. Do you have a match that you feel like you didn't perform? I mean, you said that match was like you're pretty lucked out, like you kind of hit everything you needed. Was there a match where you felt like you didn't really hit everything you needed, or like something maybe some hiccups that you might have had that you're like, oh, I could have maybe fixed these in the future?
So one match, it was funny. I think my luck overall, first of all, was extremely above average during the tournament. Like I think I rolled 6 or 7 crits. I averaged about a crit per game, and my opponents were critical missing. It was the perfect storm. Um, I had very good luck overall. There was a match and I think it was the second to last match, actually, possibly, yeah. And I I drew Giant Turtle, and that was my first creature out, and I just wasn't drawing creatures. It was
Good
like
wall.
5 turns, wasn't drawing anything, no Dragon Tamer to retrieve a creature, and so I was to the point where my giant turtle was about to die. I had nothing else to play for my hand. He had a raccoon knight out. I think this was against Cedric or Seth was his name. Um, and so I'm just like, okay, I'm just gonna go all in on giant turtle. I played all in one on it
Good
after
card.
magic stealing his Flame of the Infinite that he was going to use on his
Ooh.
raccoon knight. So I got Flame of the Infinite and all in one on a giant turtle, and I just like aggroed with it. Totally, I've never planned to do that with giant turtle, and it just worked out, and it carried me through until I got Eternal Dragon out.
Yeah,
And
flame.
also, throughout the entire tournament, no one killed my Eternal Dragon. So
Well, there you go. It was unkillable. The unkillable
yeah, basically,
dragon.
yeah.
But yeah, no,
I
that
might
that
have
is.
had like 2 or 3 creatures go to the graveyard the entire tournament for my deck.
Ooh. There you go. I mean, that is kind of crazy with the giant turtle. Like you said, I really like Flame of the Infinite, but I think that card just makes almost every creature feel like it's like kind of like to a point where it's like, ooh, like you can't just like not do anything. You have to deal with these creatures because like Flame of the Infinite, with how much stats you get, it's like the anything just starts to hit you really hard. So it's like, I think that's pretty funny that you were able to make giant turtle into like a battle tortoise or something, whatever the evolution of a giant turtle would be. That it's so strong with all in one plus the Flame of the Infinite. I think that's really cool.
Yeah, so I got like, he's a 1 dice roll, and I got plus 4 dice rolls, plus 4 modifier, and then all in one, or Flame of the Infinite, what gives you another dice roll
and 5,
2.
yeah, and then 5 damage as well.
Yeah,
just base.
So he was actually doing pretty good damage, and he's slow to kill, so slow to be killed.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And like you said, it sounds like, yeah, like you didn't have to put many creatures in the cemetery. So like, is that how you kind of felt? You felt like your deck might have been a little bit above most of the decks at the tournament? I mean, just kind of, with your preparation and your planning. Like you said, you have played a lot of people on Untapped, that like me, myself included. So it's like, I feel like you definitely probably have a little bit of an edge of like, okay, this is good in my deck, this isn't good in my deck. Like, how are you feeling about just like the overall competition, I guess, at the tournament?
Like I said, I thought I was pretty confident going there. I thought my chances of winning the tournament were great until I got there and I saw that Trapped Under Rice's deck was really well built, Undead King deck. I think I could have easily lost that match, but everything went right, and we didn't have to play each other twice. So I think it could have easily gone either way if his deck got to get off the ground. And then the other 2 guys I played in the final 4. Their decks were really good. Cedric or Seth, he played a deck with so many counters that just kind of shut down everything. If I wanted to Dragon Tamer, nope, couldn't do it. So he forced me to draw the cards I needed.
Right.
Anytime I played something like Irresistible Love, he'd shut it down. So that was pretty back and forth. But once Eternal Dragon got out, you just didn't have the firepower to deal with it. And then John was another guy. He was the last guy I played. He might have been the guy that Giant Turtle came out for, actually. And his deck was really well built as well. So he just had like all the good staple cards in it. I can't remember the exact theme or anything, but there were definitely some like Assassins, Raccoon Knights sort of cards.
Like Revival Priest and like Holy Light, like he had everything, or?
No one used that against me. And I will say there was a big lack of Holy Light or Ghost from the Past in the tournament.
Gotcha.
Either my opponents didn't draw it or they just weren't using it. But a couple of my opponents were like, "What's that card?" when I would play Holy Light or Ghost from the Past. So it didn't seem like they quite caught on that, how good creature retrieval was.
Yeah. No, and that makes a lot of sense. I mean, like you said, at a tournament where like a lot of those people, like you said, that's maybe somewhat of their like first experience getting into Ward. So it's just like they obviously might have a little bit of a wake up call, if they haven't really been able to like practice a lot of those cards at the higher end. And it is kind of interesting because like, yeah, it's like I've been to a lot of tournaments, so it's just like people not knowing how those card effects work. It's like, oh yeah, it's kind of crazy, I guess, like the first time someone plays a Holy Light on you. I remember when I played Joe, one of the creators, and like he was playing, I hadn't even seen Gen 1 cards yet, and he was playing a bunch of Gen 1, and I was like, I don't know how that card works. I don't know how that card works. Like he's just doing a bunch of things. I just have to say, yeah, I guess you know how they work. I don't. So it's like, good luck. So yeah, definitely powerful to have that kind of advantage in a tournament for sure.
Another fun, well-structured deck. I fought against the last one. This guy, Jose, had a Werecroc Full Moon heal deck, which was actually pretty formidable. Like, our game was close. One of the closer games. Like, maybe the third closest game in the tournament.
He was kind of matching you power for power. I mean, that's kind of how your deck is built too, right? It's like keep healing up my big creature. Like, that's kind of what he was probably going for, like healing up my Werecroc
out. Keep it from dying, and he had three full moons out on me pretty early.
Oh, geez.
So it was actually pretty tough.
Oh yeah, it gets scary once they get it all on board. But yeah, no, I mean, overall, it sounds like it was a pretty good tournament. I mean, if I do say so myself, I mean, you got 6 wins. You're 6-0. You're number 1 in the rankings. I mean, Alec, you can tell everybody right now, hey, I'm ranked number 1. Nobody can have that title. You get to say you've been rank 1 in Ward. It's a pretty fun achievement.
I sent the post, the Facebook post with the pictures of the winners and stuff to my family, a little family messenger group, and they're like, "What's Ward?"
Yeah.
So,
That's
I
the
guess I
first
got
question.
it is.
They don't go,
Now
"Oh,
that I'm a star,
congratulations."
I gotta reveal my hobby now.
Yeah. No, like I said, it's a good hobby to have. I mean, I was pretty happy too with the Ward Bowl. Like I said, speaking of just like misplay, like yeah, in the final match against Tyler, we were talking about Revival Priest. I tried to do this combo where you use Churn Coat, so I flipped his creature, but then I was going to Revival Priest to bounce his creature into my hand. But then apparently Billy had to be like, "Oh, the extended text rulings say that Revival Priest puts it back in the original player's hand." I was like, "Oh my!" So I made a huge misplay. Still ended up winning the game, but yeah, it's like even at the high end, it's like there's tons of cards that it's like it takes a while to really get all those rules down and all those things. So it's like I'm assuming for you guys at the California tournament, it's like it's only going to get more and more competitive. I hope they keep throwing on more events because it's like it seems like you guys got a real cool group of people over there that are in that community.
And I'm a Nevadian, so I did have to travel almost 3 hours to get there.
Yeah.
Thankfully, I have a very patient girlfriend because when the tournament was first announced, I wasn't even planning on going, to be honest. And then Billy like messaged me and he's like, "You're gonna go? You gotta go." And I was like, "Maybe." And I was like, "Hey, Amber, what do you think?" And she was like, "Well, I have a friend that lives an hour away. Sure." And so,
Oh, nice. That
and then
worked out.
we added on like a San Francisco trip because I've never been to San Francisco. So we went to Elk Grove for the tournament, and then went to San Francisco that evening, and then did our San Francisco day on Sunday. So it was a really fun trip.
That's nice. Yeah, I mean, definitely you probably had to drive the longest distance out of everybody there, huh? Or was people coming from all over the place?
Probably by about an hour and a half. Yeah.
Yeah, when I go to the cities, they have a lot of tournaments in Minneapolis, which is like almost 3 hours away from here. So it's like definitely a very similar drive for us for a lot of the tournaments we had to go to this like the first season of Ward, I guess. So no, but I mean that's a cool story, and I'm glad, like you said, you made like a whole like round trip with it. So it's like even more fun was added to. But I'm kind of curious too, Alec, with just the tournament in general. Like, how did you feel? Like you said, like 6 hours, like each you had an hour for each game. I'm assuming. So it's like how did that feel? Was it a little taxing by the end of it? I'm sure, where you're getting a little burned out or bored.
Well, actually, the rounds were 45 minutes, and so the ruling was kind of like when we got there, they were like, "What do you think about this? What do you think about this?" And they were kind of consulting me, consulting a couple other players, and I was like, "Usually it's 50 minutes." I was just honest, like, this is how we run it online. Do what you want. They decided 45 minutes, but yeah, it was 6 45-minute rounds. It started almost 30 minutes late, so I was there from 12:40 until about 6:40. Yeah, so a solid 6 hours, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it was definitely taxing. Like I said, by the last two games, like rolling my attack dice and counting, I could just feel my like concentration waning really bad.
Oh,
Like
I believe
5, 6. Yeah, so it took a lot of focus, which is something I haven't had to experience before, really.
Yeah.
Being such a long event.
With
And then I got hungry and I had to buy snacks. And
the munchies kicked in for sure. I know that feeling all too well. You get late into the tournament, you're like, yeah, I need something, need some energy. But then you also have the nerves, so you're like, I don't want to eat too much because if I eat too much, then it's all just gonna be not a good day.
I was super proud of myself because I'm usually a person that blunders at least once, where I'm like fully aware of my blunder and like beat myself up about it. I can't recall a blunder all day. Like I was on point. My luck was incredibly good, and yeah, I'm just thankful to have won. It was kind of I don't know. It almost seemed not real at first.
Oh yeah.
I was like, wait a minute, I won my first at something, trying
right.
something new, and it was yeah, it was really cool.
No, that's awesome. I guess that with that whole question too, I guess we could bounce it off. Another one is just how do you feel like maybe they could improve the tournament, or do you feel like maybe it was exactly the way you'd want it to be? Like, did that feel like that was like a good version, or maybe there was like a little bit of tweaking you'd think maybe could help out with the tournaments going forward if they have more? Maybe just give some insight on.
Yeah. So the host at HobbyQuest asked me the same question at the end, and my response was, I think three games for everyone is a little much. you could cut the tournament time down quite a bit, and
Mm.
a couple of the more casual players, it's great that they get to play more games, but they can also play casually whenever. They can
Yeah.
play when they get knocked out, they can continue playing. And I just think 3 games, especially against a very casual deck, is just kind of it's a lot of time spent.
Right.
Where that person how you want to say it, doesn't have a great chance of making it up to the top of the bracket.
Makes sense. Yeah, it's kind of interesting.
I think two games guaranteed feels perfect. Like winners bracket, losers bracket.
Gotcha. Yeah, because like I mean, all the other official tournaments for War, they all do just like double elimination. So like you said, there's the winners bracket, losers bracket, and they don't do like, oh, you get to play every deck, which does kind of suck because like sometimes you're just like, oh, I really want to play that deck, and like those people do get out late early, and like you said, like other people can play them, but it's like you're still in the tournament, so it's like if you find time, maybe you can get a game in with them, like while maybe if you're like in the winners bracket waiting for somebody to come and meet you, but like a lot of times, yeah, you miss out on a lot of like playing a lot of the other decks. But I do think the double like elimination bracket feels pretty nice because like you said, it definitely cuts down the time, because like a Swiss where you play every person can definitely add up on the time per game for sure, and everyone has to be there till the very end.
I think 45 minutes felt really good, and this is kind of a topic that hasn't been brought up, but if we're willing to, let's say, forgo the physical dice rolling aspect, at least during tournaments, and use something like a dice addition app like Jundy's word tracker app, which really quickly, like, you can just roll 5 dice and it'll just add it up and put it right there.
Right.
And just having that on or something to the side could cut down a lot, to where 45, 50 minutes doesn't even feel necessary at that point. Maybe 40 minutes feels like as long as you would need.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Well, Alec, I think we're getting to the end of the time. I love the dragon or time dragon flex you had. We all seen the necklace. I think the Discord they love that. That's got to be your look now at every tournament. Unfortunately, though, you did curse yourself by doing it, because now you have to wear it everywhere. It's
Be the Logan Paul of Ward.
Yeah, the good luck charm though. It actually helps you win your matches. Unlike Logan Paul, he doesn't win all his matches.
or he gets paid to lose or whatever.
Yeah,
it's kind of staged.
Right, definitely we'll get paid to lose too. Don't worry. If you want to pay me, I'll take some losses if you pay me that kind of money. But anyway, Alec. Well, I should say rank number 1, Aleckermit. Thanks for your time. Yeah, exactly. I appreciate this, but we're gonna let you go, man. You have a great night.
All right, have a good one. Thank you.